So today we're still on the theme of space, so getting space as we move. So really, it's the lengthening of your spine and getting space around your torso as you move. So rather than crumbling in, or it's that sensation of lifting your chest up as you move to give yourself length. We're focusing. So last week we had the hand mudra that was for alternate nostril breathing, which was Vishnu, which was this one. And then today, the hand mudra, and it directs your energy flow, is can you see me, Kate? Is the more classic one. It's that you'll pinch the thumb and the forefinger together, and then the other fingers are straight or relaxed. You can be either palms up or palms down, it doesn't matter. But this is called Gyan, and this is for knowledge and wisdom. And essentially the thumb and the finger, the air and the fire elements. So you're keeping that energy within your body. So that's what these mudras like direct the energy. So you can choose not to use them, but if that's a little bit of yoga philosophy, so you can just sit with your hands resting however feels comfortable. Sit nice and tall. And is that clicking on my laptop? Can you hear the messages coming in? No? Oh, it's true here then. Okay. And then we're going to inhale to the count of 4. And then you're going to hold that breath in for the count of 3 and exhale for the count of 6. And while you're holding the breath, we're drawing our attention to your pelvic floor. So lifting up to feel, so it's your root lock, your Mula Bandha. So as you draw that up, we're trying to breathe at the same time. So not go all rigid, but just feeling that lightness of lifting up. Okay, so closing your eyes, take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. And then start the inhale to the count of 4. Hold for 3 as you lift the pelvic floor. And exhale for 6. Just continuing at your own pace. So complete one more round of the breath. And then as you exhale, lowering your head and blinking your eyes open. Then looking forward, we're going to do a little flowing twist. So as you inhale, bring your arms up. And then as you exhale, turning to your left. And then one hand behind the other hand, drawing you round with the connection to the thigh. Look behind you. And then the next inhale, come all the way up. Changing to the other side, but feel that uplift of your chest. Soften through the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and then come back to center. Come off your block. If you're sitting on anything, we're going to come into a twist. So feet out in front of you. And then bend the right leg. Place the sole of the foot down over the opposite thigh, straighten that left leg. So draw the toes up to the ceiling, press the back of the thigh down, hold on to the shin, lift yourself up. So you want to draw your chest towards your thigh. And then we're going to take the right hand behind you, hug the left arm around the shin. So you're turning towards your thigh. And exhale, soften the shoulder blades down your back. Each inhale, lift the chest a tiny bit more, get length in the spine. Each exhale, soften a little more towards the thigh. And then inhale, come back to center. Change legs, so crossing left over right. Strong through the straight leg, lift yourself up. So really use the pelvic floor, draw your navel in. Left hand behind you, hug the right arm, turn towards the bent thigh and exhale as you revolve, but stay nice and tall. Inhale, come back to center, straight legs. So we're going to do our first forward fold of the day. So with folding, the difficulty that we often get if our legs are tight, our hamstrings, pull your bottom under and you get a rounding of the lower back. So sometimes it's a bit hard to sit straight when your legs are straight on the ground. So you can modify a little by bending your knees slightly, but we're just trying to see, we're not going to go all in because we haven't warmed up properly yet, but flex your feet. So toes draw back towards shins, and you want a little internal rotation because the thighs will kind of want to roll out a little. So draw the thighs inwards, press down through the back of the thighs, lift your chest up. So it's really quite hard. Firstly, we're going to sit in staff pose, Dandasana. So rest your hands beside your thighs, elbows soft. So we're not pressing. It's nothing to do with the shoulders. This is to do with your core. So draw up through the pelvic floor. Draw your navel in. As the legs are strong, you're going to lift yourself up. Hands are just resting and start to hinge forward. You might not go very far, but slide your hands towards your shins and just seeing where you can get to. As you hinge, you might come to a stop and then you can start to curl inwards, but trying to keep the front of the pelvis rocking forward. And then you can start to draw the ribs down, curling them towards the hips. Bring your chin down. And then inhale, lift your chest back up. Come to a flat back, sit up, bend your knees a little, or bend your knees, feet down. So it's quite intense on the lower back. So when we start to forward fold, so when we do the standing, it's a bit easier. You've got a bit more give and the hips might rock back a bit. So once more, this is called Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So draw the toes towards the shins, press the backs of the thighs down. This time we're going to lift our arms up. So inhale, lift your chest, bring your arms up, bring your palms to touch, reach up through the middle fingers. And then as you lift your chest, lift your chin, hinge forward, and then you're going to reach for your feet. If you don't reach them, just rest your hands where they fall. If you reach your feet, take your first two fingers and the thumb and wrap around the toes. But we're trying not to let the pelvis drop back so you feel the stretch in your upper back. You want to lift your chest, bend the elbows. So using your core and your legs. So press the backs of the thighs down. And then when you get as far as you can, you're curling in, draw the chin down, nose towards knees. Keep the legs strong, keep the core engaged, and then inhale, sit up, release the hands, bring them up, exhale, hands to heart. So it might feel a little uncomfortable, but as we move a little more, you'll feel a little bit of relief in the lower back. So now we're going to do wide-legged pose. So you might want to sit on your towel so your hips are that little bit higher, so it tilts your hips forward. So you come to the edge of your towel. Do you want to borrow one? So that you can rock towards the edge of what you're sitting on. Legs go wide, and then you'll feel as you rock over towards the edge of it that it draws your tailbone back. Flex your feet. So exactly the same position, but with your legs apart. So internal rotation of the thighs, so the knees and toes are pointing up. And then you can have your hands behind you. Lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other, push out towards your feet, and then almost accelerate with the ball of your foot as if you're pressing on a car accelerator. So you feel the thighs engage. And then sit up, bring your arms up, reach up, engage that core. And then same thing, you're going to hinge. And then just bring your hands to wherever you can. Now you may feel this tugging on the inside of the knees, the backs of the thighs. You can start to curl inwards, so you can walk your hands away or you can drop your elbows, whichever. So you can relax with the back. Doesn't need to be straight now, but you want to keep the front of the hips rolling forward. Keep that energy through the feet. And then inhale, sit up, bring your arms up, exhale. Now you're going to bend the left leg. Right leg stays exactly as it is. So this is one-legged forward fold. So now we're going to add in a twist, Janu Sirsasana. So strong through the straight leg. Press the sole of the foot into the opposite thigh. You've got a little connection there. You feel the outer hip waking up. You're facing in the center of your legs. Inhale, lift the arms up, reach up. Now we're going to twist. So you're going to turn, draw your navel in, turn towards the straight leg. Keep the chin and chest lifting, lean forward. And then if you can bring your hands to your foot, do that. Otherwise, rest your hands wherever they fall. If your hands are to the foot, you want to bring your hands either side of the feet and then your thumbs press to the base of the second and third toes. So elbows soft, reach your chin and then fold. So now you might feel this in the outer left hip as much as the straight leg and the side ribs there. And then you're going to inhale, lift up, come back to center, exhale, release, straighten the opposite leg, and then Janu Sirsasana on the left side. Straighten that leg, connect the sole of the foot to the thigh and the thigh to the sole of the foot. Draw up through your core, inhale, reach up, lift your chin and chest, draw the navel in, exhale, revolve and fold. Soften the elbows, reach chest forward and then fold in. But same pressure, it's like you're trying to press the ball of your foot away from you, helping to reach you that little bit further forward. One more breath. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. And then you're going to bend the knees, come onto your hands and knees for tabletop. So knees under hips, hands under shoulders, tuck your toes under. So pad your knees if it's uncomfortable like this, but we're going to mobilize the upper back. So firstly, you want to straight arms, press down through your palms and then spread your shoulder blades. So feel as if you're puffing out between the shoulders, lift through the back of the head so your head is in line with your spine. And then you're going to keep your straight arms, sink your chest between your shoulder, between your arms, so shoulder blades draw together. hips stay neutral. Inhale, punch up again between the shoulders. The nice straight arms, really push the floor away. Engage your core. Last one, sink down. So this is just unsticking our shoulder blades from the back of our ribs, and then come back to neutral. You're going to take the left leg straight, the right leg straight. You're in plank. Hug your forearms towards each other. Hug the shins towards each other. Rock your weight a little forward so you're up on your toes. And then bend left knee, bend right knee, bring the knees down back into tabletop. And then again, right leg goes straight, left leg straight. Come into plank. Press the floor away. Feel you're puffing out between the shoulder blades. Squeeze the shins and forearms towards each other. Take one more breath. And then bring your knees down under your hips. Take your knees wide. We're going to come into child's pose. Knees wide, toes touching. Sit back towards your heels. Reach your arms in front. So keep the arms active, elbows lifted. Bring your forehead down to the block or to your towel roll. Press down through your palms and then slide them away from you so you can feel your hips drawing down towards your heels. And inhaling, lift your head slightly. You're going to walk your hands over to the left. Bring the right hand on top of the left. Just rest your head on your arms and then roll the right ribs slightly up to the ceiling. Get long in the right side of your body. So draw the right hip back. And then inhale, lift your head, walk your hands over to the right. Left hand on top of right. Rest your head, roll those left ribs up, draw the left hip back. As if you can breathe deeper into the side body there. Inhale, come back to center. Coming into puppy pose. So take your knees back a little, tuck your toes, hips stay over your knees. Walk your hands forward, turn your tailbone up and draw your forehead down either to the block or the mat. Strong stretch through the shoulders. So press the palms down, push them away. And then inhale, coming up, walk your hands back, ready to come up into down dog. Lift your hips. Then inhale, right leg lifts straight up and back, three-legged dog. Lower the left heel for the moment. So you want to lower the left heel to feel that calf stretch. Internally rotate, so roll the right thigh inward slightly so the leg goes, the hips are level. And now you're going to roll forward into plank and bring the right foot to the outside of your right hand for lizard. So drop the back knee behind the hip, flatten the foot. And we're going to firstly have the toes pointing directly forward on the right foot. Hug the knee into your shoulder. And it's a little lunge, so you'll feel you're squeezing the knee into the shoulder almost pressing back as you lunge forward, so activating the inner thigh. And then you're going to turn the right toes out and then let the knee roll outwards. And you want to keep the knee in line with the toes, so you can start, if you can, you'll roll onto the outside edge of that front foot, but you want the thigh tracking in the same direction as the toes. Reach your chest forward. So if you rock back a little, you don't feel the glutes and the hamstrings lengthening, but here, rock forward. If you want to come lower down, if you feel you can go a little lower, a little deeper, you can bring the block in, you can bring your forearms down, or you can even come all the way down to the mat, but you need to be able to bring the right arm down if you're going to come down this far, so we're not twisting up. So you want to be able to roll that right side of the body down. So feeling into that right hip, thigh. Use your breath, so you might be gritting your teeth or tight around the shoulders. So on the exhale, let the body soften. Then inhale, bring your palms down, lifting up, tuck the left toes under. Lift the right leg back up, give it a little shake. Down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts up, lower the right heel, three-legged dog. So we're trying to level the hips almost, so the leg goes straight up and back. Try not to roll that left hip open. You're trying to roll the thigh under you. Waking up the hip flexor. And then bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand for lizard. Same thing, toes pointing directly forward, hug the left knee into the shoulder. You can drop the back knee. If you wanted to make it harder, you lift through the back knee, but don't need to go full out straight away. You can flatten the back foot, lunge forward. Again, if you want to come lower to the block or the mat, roll onto the outside edge of the foot. You turn the toes out. Let the thigh fold out to the side. But reach your chest forward. It's like you're trying to reach your chin over your hands almost. One more breath. Then inhaling, bring your palms down, tuck the right toes under, left leg lifts up, give it a shake, down dog, and then walk your hands back towards your feet. Slowly come to stand. And then walk to the front of the mat. So starting with our half salutes. I think I can turn some of the heat off now. So standing in mountain at the front of the mat. Inhale, bring your palms to touch, so arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come to halfway lift. Straight legs, palms into shins. Look up. And exhale, fold again. So you can bend your knees if you need to, if the backs of the legs are tight. And then inhale, straighten the legs, hinging forward and up, palms to touch. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, halfway lift. So tailbone goes up, look up, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart and then stand in mountain. So sun salute A. Standing in mountain, inhale, palms to touch, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, palms down, step back for chaturanga, low press up. Drop your knees if you need to, lowering to the mat. Inhale to cobra, tops of the feet press down so the kneecaps lift. Press through your palms, curling, draw the shoulder blades down your back. Then exhale, lowering down, tuck your toes, come up into down dog. Take 3 breaths here. You can walk the dog, this first one. And then inhaling, come up on your toes, bend your knees deeply. If you're going to bring one foot forward, come all the way forward. Otherwise, both feet. You can jump forward, come to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart, standing mountain. So 2 more. From the front of the mat, inhale, bring your palms to touch, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms down, step back for chaturanga. Lowering to the mat, to inhale to cobra, and exhale to down dog. 3 breaths. So really remembering when you come into forward fold, that's what we're focusing on today, trying to get space through the cavity of your core. So even though you're folding forward, you want to try and lift your chest, get long in the front body. Okay, then inhale to come forward to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart. And then standing mountain. Last one. Inhale, palms to touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga, palms down, step back. So hug the elbows in as you lower down. Inhaling to cobra. So your hands should be beside your ribs when you lift up. And then exhale, tuck your toes, come up into down dog. Take your 3 breaths. Bend your knees a little. Lift your bottom. And now inhale to come forward to halfway lift. Really think about your fold. Reach your chest and chin forward. Draw your core in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up, palms to touch. And then exhale, hands to heart, standing mountain. From the front of the mat. Inhale, take the weight into your right foot. We're going to step back to high lunge. So lift the left knee up, step back, draw your arms up into high lunge. So sinking the hips, press through the back heel so you really feel you're squeezing the quad in the back thigh. Keep that knee over the front ankle. Lift your chest, look up. And then we're going to come into warrior 1. So bring your palms to touch, drop the back heel down. So you want to have the toes pointing forward, bend through the right knee. So the back heel is dropped, turn. So see this line on my mat, you want to have your feet on train tracks and the heel pressing down. So high lunge was here, we're in the ball of the foot. Warrior 1 is the heel drops, think through the right knee. So it's strong through the calf and the back leg. You want to internally rotate the back thigh. So hips level to the front of the mat or heading that way. Inhale, bring your arms up. You can do James Bond fingers to help straighten the arms because you're then going to lift your chest, keep the hips sinking, lunging into that front knee, but lift your chest, turn to look up. So feel how long you are in the front body. And then we're going to bring our hands, hold on to our elbows, straighten the front leg. So this is pyramid pose, but wide pyramid. So the legs are really wide. You're going to roll your hips to face the front of the mat. Draw up through your kneecaps. Lift your chest. So as you hold onto your elbows, feel you're broadening across the front of the chest. Draw your navel in, and then we're going to hinge forward. So if we're folding forward, but actually we're not going to go all the way down. We're feeling into the right leg. So you should feel a really strong stretch. This is good for runners, IT band. hamstrings. If you want to fold further, you can. You start to curl inwards, bring your chin and chest down, and then relax the head. Otherwise, stay where you are, strong stretch. And then you're going to bend the front knee, release your arms, step forward. We're going to come into chair pose. So feet are parallel, sit down, bring your arms forward and up. So as you sit down, you want to take your knees back slightly, your weight's more towards your heels. Try and lift your arms, turn your gaze up between your thumbs. Draw the shoulder blades a little bit down your back, soften around the sides of the neck, and then inhale to stand. Exhale, hands down, mountain. We do the other side. Standing in mountain, inhale, we're going to step back to high lunge. So weight to the left foot, right knee up. Shoot the right foot back. Draw your arms up, reach up. Press through that back heel. Sink your hips. So really feel you've got length all the way up the front of the thigh, the front of the hip, up towards the ribs. You can turn your gaze up. Use your breath to steady. And then bring the palms to touch. You can do James 1 fingers, warrior 1, which is dropping the heel down on the back foot. Rolling the thigh, that right thigh, so the hip can turn slightly forward. Lift your chest, but really feel you're engaging your core. You're knitting those ribs together. Don't let the ribs flare, draw them back slightly. Strong through the back leg. Gaze is on your thumbs. And then exhale. Bring your hands behind you again. Hold on to elbows. You're going to straighten the front leg. So pyramid pose. Draw up the kneecaps. Level the hips. So you want to roll the right hip forward, left thigh drawing back. Lift your chest. Keep the knees nice and lifted, thighs strong. You're going to hinge forward. If you want to fold, just pause when your gaze goes down, and then you'll exhale again to fold in a little deeper, but otherwise stay. You can stay high. But feeling into that front leg. Draw your navel in. So we're trying to reach the chest forward and then relax the chin. Inhale. Squeeze your thighs, come up, bend the front knee, step forward. Release your arms, come into chair pose. So chair pose is neutral, so we're not sticking the bottom out or tucking it under. It's a neutral spine, neutral hips, bring the arms up. Sit down a little deeper. Draw the knees back slightly. You should be able to see your toes as you glance down. Gaze between thumbs, and then inhale, lifting up, exhale, release. And we're going to come to sit down for a moment. So a little bit of core work. So we're going to come into boat pose or half boat. So hands to the back of your thighs. Sit up nice and tall. And then you're going to draw up through the pelvic floor, draw your navel in. You're going to lean back, but keep the back straight. Shoulder blades really connected to the back of the ribs. And then draw the feet up. Spread your toes, activate those lower leg muscles. If you can, you'll reach your arms. You can keep holding on lightly if you need to, but trying to get those shins parallel to the mat. Gaze is on your toes. Keep the chest lifting, keep that core strong. Use your breath. And then exhale, cross the legs, palms beside your hips, little pulse up, and then come back into Navasana again. So it's the chest lifting up, draw the navel in. 3, 2, 1. Cross the legs the other way. A little pulse up And then we're going to do last one, last set, same thing, Navasana, inhale, lean back, lift. Steady the breath, soften the shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Release that little pulse up, come to lie back. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Arms by your side, and then lift your legs up. And you can choose how it feels, but you can have your hands behind your head, but you want the elbows to be wide. You don't want to bring the elbows in. Or you can have your arms down by your side, whichever feels better. So press as if you're stamping on the ceiling. You want to flex at the ankles, squeeze those thigh muscles, and then you're going to draw the right heel down to 1 inch off the mat, point the toe and draw the leg back up, and then the left heel goes down, point, left leg back up. So keep going, right heel down, point, bring the leg back up. Keep going, alternate sides. If you feel it's too strong, you're losing control of the core, you can bring one foot down to the mat and raise and lower one leg. So we want to try and draw the lower back down towards the mat. So really squeeze the navel in. Use your breath. Long inhale, long exhale, and then release. Bend your knees, bring your feet to the mat. Knock your knees together, so take your feet apart a little. Knock the knees together, bring your hands to your stomach. Let the breath settle. Okay, then coming up to sit, you're going to come onto your hands and knees. Palms down, step back to down dog. And then inhale, lift your right leg up. Bring your right foot between your hands. Come up into triangle pose, Trikonasana. So drop the left heel down. You're coming up to straight legs. So nice and wide, the back foot parallel to the back of the mat, the right toes pointing forward. You're on that central line. Draw up your kneecaps, arms go wide. And then take the left hip back, feel that inner thigh lengthen. So really draw the kneecaps up, and you're going to reach sideways. So we're folding sideways. So you want to keep nice and long from hip crease to armpit, and then you're going to tip. So lean back a little, stack those shoulders. You can even, if it helps, you can have the block on the outside and bring a hand to the block so you can feel that you can expand a little more, but really trying to see if you can get long in the right side of your body. So rather than just curling inwards. And then inhale, lift up through the top hand. Keep your feet as they are. You're going to bend into side angle stretch. So bend that right knee. You can, if you had the block, you can bring it on the inside. So modified pose here, otherwise come down to the block or the ground. And then you're going to start to revolve. So turn the left ribs up to the ceiling, sweep the top hand up and over. So the palm is facing down. So press down through the outside edge of the left foot. So really feel you're lifting through that inner thigh. Reach those fingers overhead. And then inhale. You're going to come up to warrior two. Bend through, so right knee over right ankle, arms go wide. Squeeze those shoulder blades towards each other. Turn your head over the front hand. Exhale, hands to hips. Turn onto the ball of the back foot, so separate your feet. You're in high lunge, hands on hips. And then bring your palms down, step back to down dog. And don't forget, if ever you need to take a break, you can just drop your knees and come into child's pose. Going to do the other side. So inhale, lift the left leg up. Bring the left foot between your hands. Come up into triangle, Trikonasana. Feet on that central line, so the instep or the heel of the back foot is in line with the heel of the front foot. So straightening the legs, arms go wide. Squeeze kneecaps. Take the right hip back. Reach and tip. So Karen, take this foot back a little so you want to be on the central line. So this, come to the middle and then move this foot back that way a little bit. Yeah. And straighten the front leg. So lift through the kneecap. Can you straighten straight? Yeah. Okay, then inhale, coming up to side angle stretch. So now we're going to bend through the left knee. And then either come to the block on the inside or rest your arm. And you're going to sweep the top hand up and over. So all the way over, palm facing down. So you feel like you're rolling the right ribs up to the ceiling, stretching through the right side of the body. So press down through the outside edge of the right foot. Reach through those fingertips. Inhale, coming up, warrior two. Squeeze shoulder blades, but relax, soften around the tops of the shoulders. Exhale, hands to hips. Move the feet into high lunge. So now your hips are facing forward and step forward. Give the legs a little shake. Well done. Come down to sit on the mat. Legs out in front. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So we did this at the beginning. So now really feeling into, see if you can activate your core, use your thighs to help you fold. So flex at the feet, internal rotation of the thighs. Sit nice and tall. Lift the pelvic floor. Inhale, bring your arms up. Reach up. And then exhale, hinge forward. So you're trying to take the tailbone back. Reach towards your feet. If you can, hook the toes. If not, rest your hands where they fall. It's 2 fingers and a thumb to wrap the big toes, and then press through the balls of the feet. Lift your chest. So each inhale, lift up a little. Lean forward, and then exhale, soften. So just by increments, millimeter by millimeter, each breath, you'll lift a little. Exhaling, softening into it. Feel how you really need to keep those legs strong. And then inhale, lifting up. You come into a seated twist. So you're going to bend your knees, bring the left leg to lie with the heel on the outside of the opposite hip. You can either keep the right foot against the opposite shin, or if you can, you'll bring the foot over. It doesn't matter if you're here, it's fine. So hold on to that shin, lift up, and take your right hand behind you, hug the left arm around the knee, and you're going to, as you inhale, lift, draw yourself towards the thigh, exhale, revolve. So keep the core strong, lift the pelvic floor, navel draws in, so shoulders are soft. Should feel a nice stretch in the outer hip. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release. Okay, so we're trying to have, if you bring the other foot over, we're trying not to have this happen. So you're trying to ground both buttocks. So it doesn't matter if they're slightly lifted, but it will be a little bit more uncomfortable. So that might be better to have the foot in front instead of over. But lifting up on the inhale, take the left hand behind you, hug the right arm around the thigh, draw yourself towards the thigh, and then navel in, exhale, revolve. Then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release, come to lie back, knees bent. Arms by your side. And then inhale, draw your lower back down into the mat, lift your hips up into bridge. Dig your heels in a little, gentle squeeze of the glutes, see if you can lift a little higher. Feel the front of the hips lengthening. Breathe nice and steady, and then exhale, lowering down through the vertebrae, hips down last. And this time, take your block, bring your block between your knees. So feet are parallel, bring the block between knees. And when you're in bridge, don't have your feet too far away. So you want to bring them so they're roughly under your knees. You should be able to touch almost your heel with your fingers. And you want to squeeze the block. Inhale, draw the lower back down, lift your hips up. So feel that inner thigh squeeze. Use your shoulders as well. So draw the shoulder blades down onto the mat. So squeeze them towards each other. You can even clasp your hands underneath your hips. Dig those heels in, feel the hamstrings. And then exhale, lowering down, vertebrae by vertebrae. So this time, either you do the same again, or you can challenge your glutes and lift the right leg. So inhale, lift into bridge. So if you want to lift the right leg, you obviously keep your thighs parallel, but you're going to point the right toes. So this will mean the left glute and hamstring are working really hard. So press through the sole of the left foot. Try and keep your hips level. And then exhale, foot down, lower down through the vertebrae. Try not to plop to the floor. And then either bridge again or inhale to do the glute strengthener. So lift into bridge and then lift your left leg. So use your arms, press the palms down or clasp your hands underneath you. Really feel the shoulders working. Level those hips. Use your breath. Exhale, bring the foot down, lower hips down. Okay. Just neutralize the spine a minute. So feet apart, remove the block, knock your knees together. And then take your arms wide, palms down. Keep your feet wide, but roll your knees to the right. Turn your head to the left. And then as you inhale, come back to center. Exhale, drop the knees the opposite way and roll the head. So follow your own breath. It's keeping a steady pace, windshield wipers. And then straighten your legs, hug your left knee into your chest. Let the right leg just relax. And then draw that left leg out to the left side of the ribs. So deepening that stretch on the hamstrings and the glutes. And then bring your right hand to the top of that left knee. Release the left hand down and then draw the knee all the way across. So twisting over, you can roll onto your right side, just drawing that knee down, trying to ground through the shoulders. And then inhale, come back to center. And then bend the right knee in, hug it in towards your chest. And then draw that thigh to the outside of the ribs. And then left hand to the outside of the right knee and draw the knee all the way over. Inhale, come back to center. Bend your knees, come into happy baby. So that's bring your arms on the inside of your thighs. So lift your knees up. Arms on the inside, your hands take the outside edge of your feet and then take your heels apart and lift them up. So you're trying to draw the thighs down either side of the ribs. Draw your tailbone down a little so you're not balancing on the mid back. You can rock there a little. And then release your feet. And we're going to come into Shavasana, relaxation. So if you want to put your socks and something warm on. So corpse pose, just lying back. Let the arms just relax out to the side with the palms facing up. Let your feet roll out slightly. And imagining a warm white light spreading across the soles of your feet. You feel it reaching through the toes, starting to curl around your ankles and spreading up your calves, your shins. You feel this warm energy spreading light through the knees, just releasing any tension on the inner thighs. It starts to spread its tendrils around the thighs. You feel the warmth is releasing and relaxing, letting go of any tightness, any more tension. This warm energy starts to spread through your hips, traveling through your organs. It starts to spiral up your spine. You can even feel with each exhale, you feel the warm energy as it leaves, crosses your top lip. You feel that slow burning inside as the warmth spreads outwards. And then as this warm light reaches your chest, it starts to curl around the back of your heart, warming the air in your lungs. As you inhale, you feel this filling up of energy as it spreads out through the back of the ribs, starts to spread down your arms. You feel this soft energy as it starts to spiral around your wrists. It starts to glow out through your fingertips. It touches the tops of your shoulders. You feel as if the weight of you is melting into the mat. The tendrils start to curl around your throat. You feel the lightness, the brightness inside. The throat seems to expand. Your tongue is softening in your mouth. Your jaw is soft. And this white light touches the base of your skull, curls around your ears, softens your brow, your cheeks. And you gaze into your closed eyelids, seeing if you can see the light crossing your eyelids. See if you can pick any colors moving. And then the energy lets the eyeballs start to roll and release into the back of your head. It touches every single hair follicle on your scalp, until from the soles of your feet to your fingertips and out through the crown of your head, this energy fills you up and completely relaxes you. You feel completely relaxed. Slowly bringing your awareness back, starting to move fingers and toes. Bring your feet together, stretch your arms over your head. And then curling onto your right side for a moment. And then coming to sit with your eyes closed. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Bring your palms together at your heart center, lowering your head and opening your eyes. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.